Diets and workouts, you've done the work, so why can't you get to your goal weight? That's because up to 70% of your weight is predetermined by your genetics. So while you've been told that it's all about your willpower, you're actually fighting your biology. Don't do it alone. Found's Doctor Design program uses medication as part of a treatment plan that targets your body's unique biological needs, so that your body works with you and not against you. Take the quiz at joinfound.com to see if Found's weight loss program is right for you.
The following is a GoPowerCat.com and Spirit Street production. You've discovered your link to GoPowerCat.com's PowerCat Overtime podcast, presented by Fridge Wholesale Liquor, and it starts right now. Now, let's go to the WTC Gig-Powered Studios. Here's your host, GoPowerCat.com publisher, Tim Fitzgerald.
It is Friday. I hope it's warmed up because when we're recording it, it's cold. Recording this, it's cold. It's cold. I don't want cold. I need warm weather for my spirit, my hopes, my dreams. I need to get out and have fresh air. I need to run about with my dogs. Well, I don't run around with my dogs. Tim Fitzgerald, Zach Carlson, Ryan Gilbert. I screwed that up. Ryan Gilbert. There we go. And it's your PowerCat Overtime podcast, your Friday fun day, fun time, fun thing that we do on Friday. You ask us anything, we answer anything. It's going to get loony today. We're all shirtless. Fire! We might be pantless, but we can't tell because we're on Zoom. And I have a dog laying next to me that is farting.
Well, that's lovely.
That is a tone setter. In the business, we call that a tone setter. It's setting the tone for this stinky, stinky podcast. We're sponsored by The Fridge. They're not stinky. They are the red roses of liquor stores. Aww. Get in there and don't get stuck by a thorn. Boy, I was doing so well with that. And then I couldn't get the image of red roses and thorns. Anyhow, The Fridge is awesome. The Fridge is awesome. You can walk in there like nothing's going on in the world, and if the Rona kind of climbs up on your face while you're in there, douse yourself with alcohol at the Fridge. Or you can drive up and order online or order over the phone, and they'll bring it out to you. It's a magical, wonderful place because liquor is an essential business during a pandemic. The Fridge. That was a hell of a read. That was good. It started off bad, got good, got bad, good, ended up good.
He's right, you know.
Zach,
it was great.
Yeah, thank you. How was our questions this week?
Well, pretty good. I like these.
We chortled in rapturous glee.
We're going to have a good podcast.
I've had a long week. I'm not sure how much fun stuff I'll be putting into this.
Loser!
Look, sitting on my ass and doing podcasts is stressful.
He's absolutely right.
That's my life. I'm going to do 3 Life of Fitz's, 2 other podcasts, putting together the Overtime podcast best of. By the way, this upcoming Monday will be the December of 2019 one, and I think I'm going to end them there. I'm just going to say this. I think they're really entertaining, but I'm finding that the Overtime podcast has a limited shelf life, even though it should be timeless because they are golden entertainment. People aren't going back to listen to the best ofs very well. They're not getting the listenership. And they're a lot of work. And then I have to surf through all the stupidity to get the stuff done.
Take it to the side again, yeah. Let's get on that train, can we? Back to the front.
That's the end of that. Yeah, if you're listening right now, you missed out on our special, the 60% special. We're still doing $1 for your first month at GoPowerCat.com. It's a great time to join. Take advantage of the Rona and become a GoPowerCat owner.
You've been a bad boy.
Hey, that rhymed.
That was good.
There we go. Man, I'm thinking about my rap career now. I could have a rap career at home. I mean, I've got the mic, and I got the rhymes, and I got the times. I can do it. That's it. That's all I got to say. Let's get going to your questions from Wabash Station. Zach, deliver the funny.
All right, not a question, but we'll do this weekly. This is everybody's Netflix check. What are you guys watching?
Oh, I'm still working through The Wire. I'm on season 5. I finally got to season 5. It's only 10 episodes.
You're close.
I'm close to the end of The Wire. It has been very, very good. I've got to get to Ozark here, and it's not Netflix, but the new season of Bosch drops. Oh, as this drops on the website, it drops today on the 17th. All right, that's Friday the 17th. Close enough.
That is Friday.
Yeah, Bosch. And if you have Amazon, Bosch is my favorite show on there. It's a cop show. It's based on novels. It's L.A. It's awesome. I love it. And the new season drops, and I think they're only doing one more season. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing. We just finished How to Fix a Drug Scandal, which was unbelievable. Unbelievable documentary about the drug labs in Massachusetts. One person at one lab was just completely faking all the results because she didn't know how to do it. She got hired on a fake resume. But the main part of it was a person that was taking the drugs. She was a complete addict and doing all the tests while stoned out of her mind or on cocaine or crack or incredible. So many, like thousands and thousands of drug cases in Massachusetts got thrown out. It's really good. Gilly, how about you?
Me and Zach were talking about this before we started recording. I'm not much of a Netflix guy. I'm still stuck on McMillions. I'm only halfway through that show, so I'm getting my way there, but I've got nothing else that I'm currently watching. I'm lame. I'm boring.
So do you not watch a bunch of video, like whether it's Netflix or something else?
I tend to watch YouTube videos. YouTube knows me well. The recommended videos that pop up, I usually spend my time watching that stuff. I don't sit down and watch a Netflix documentary or series or something like that.
Yeah, speaking of that,
I'm with you there. I do a lot of YouTube too.
Yeah.
Our good friend Wags, who's on the site, has been he's a singer-songwriter on the side out of Austin, and every Friday Friday evening he's been hosting a listen in, and he plays original songs, and it's just nice. It's kind of a nice little community thing, so I've been dropping in. His wife Jessie worked for us for a long time, so that's how far back we go. But anyhow, that's a YouTube thing going on. I was able to cast. I did guys. This was big for an old man. This was big. I actually cast it to my TV. First time I've done it. I got on and it says, "Hey, do you want to throw this on your living room TV?" Because it was all connected. I said, "Hell yeah, I want to do that." And there he was. He was on my TV in my living room. It was a little troubling.
I started Ozark last week, so I've got a couple episodes of season 1 left, but I'm loving it. Great show.
There's no
highly
middle ground
endorse.
Yeah, there's no middle ground. I've had people tell me they hate it, but most of us just love it.
Did you watch the first 2 seasons, or have you?
Yeah. I've watched the first 2 seasons, and I've been saving season 3. What's weird about The Wire, getting back to that, is there's just the coronavirus has had this resurgence of The Wire. Like, there's a ton of people watching it for the first time. And Jamel, what's her name from ESPN that got fired? Jamel Hill. It started a podcast that debuts here pretty soon.
On the Ringer, I think, yeah.
Yeah, that they're going to go through every episode. I think it's 60 episodes total. Every episode of The Wire and do a podcast about it. It's amazing how this show has seen this kind of resurgence in the coronavirus.
Well, it's free to watch right now.
It's free to watch on HBO. It was available to me on Amazon. It still is, but now HBO's opened up a lot of their classic shows, and a lot of those shows are available on Amazon anyhow. I haven't watched The Sopranos from start to finish, so I'm gonna go back and do that now. So that'll be kind of fun.
Well, look, why don't you let's go out front, get yourself a sandwich, any kind you like, huh? Soda. When we're done here, somebody will take you back.
It's kind of like my life, though, The Sopranos. It's kind of like GoPowerCat.com. The guys come to me and I'm like, well, this is how things work around here. That kind of thing. Gilly, did you just fall out of bed, Gilly?
No, I'm here.
Okay. Well, I heard a bang. I was afraid you hit your head on something. Here's a question from Wabash Station. Zach, take over.
Here's questions. From Dr. J54, is best of overtime a self-canceling phrase like jumbo shrimp or KU football tradition?
Man, those are fun to do. They really are fun to kind of put all of them together. And the way we do overtime, Zach, they do fit together really well because it's just like there's a natural break, a new question, you can string them all together. I pick my favorite start, my favorite end, and my favorite questions in between and just put them in some order. I think the overtime is great no matter what it is. It's just meant to be fun. It's just, how much do we have in our lives that has no real purpose other than it's enjoyable? Well, other than some murder.
Because I have no self-control and I hate myself.
You know, who doesn't enjoy that?
From Wagcat, you got a chance to pitch your own television show of a non-sports format to television executives. Name a show that you think would be crazy but could work. I have mine.
The discussion board. I cannot think of anything, man. I don't know. Go ahead, Zach.
I have mine, and it's kind of a combination of two shows and kind of this one YouTube series I saw, very similar to Amazing Race, but this guy in England, I think he's from England anyway, he took these guys throughout Europe, and they're like, you have to meet me in Monaco in this much time, and you have no money. And they each had a camera guy, and they filmed it. It was really well produced for a YouTube channel. A very good, well produced production for something that wouldn't have a big budget, but kind of build on that. But then there's another show in the UK on Channel 4 called Hunted, and it's where this group of people are fugitives for 28 days, and these world-class investigators, they try to hunt them down and find them in that 28 days or whatever. So I don't know what the prize is after, if they make money or whatever after the 28 days, but the goal is to be on the run for 28 days and not get caught.
Wow.
But I'd love to make basically kind of a combo of The Amazing Race and Hunted in the United States. Basically start people in New York City, give them a backpack that has a tracking device in it, and then give them a prepaid credit card and a burner cell phone, and basically tell them, you guys need to get from New York to LA by this time. And if you get caught, you're out of the game, and you're not required to keep the cell phone or the bag. The goal would be to dump it as quickly as possible, but you don't tell them that. So you keep tabs on them, but require them to spend money every 24 hours, have to spend a certain amount of money on the credit card so that they ping it, in a location. So it's not completely blind.
Well, that seems kind of rigged. They're going to make
it's not completely. No, you provide the credit card.
Yeah, but I don't want them to know my location if I'm a fugitive.
But that's you have to give them, there's a trade-off here, and it's strategy. Hey, I can use my credit card right here, and, if you're on the border somewhere and you just make a quick purchase and you're on the run, you could be, it kind of leaves a little breadcrumb trail of where you last were to give, kind of an idea. But.
And if you're caught, you're murdered.
If you want, Fitz, I can pitch that to the TV execs.
Yeah. Well, how's it end? Everyone gets murdered.
Are you going to be in the show, Zach?
No, I'd be a camera guy.
Gotcha.
I like it.
I'd be the executive producer here. Or I'd be the producer and then get Eric Stone Street to be the executive producer, because I feel like anytime I see him, I just want to be hey, got this great idea for a show. Because he's not doing anything right now.
He's unemployed. It's so sad. He's falling on hard times. Has no job. He's got no prospects for a job. It's just he's out of work. It's really sad. I would like to point out that not only do I have an idea for a Netflix show, I am currently writing it very slowly, but it's in development in my brain and on paper, so I'm not going to discuss it, but it's based on a character that we created at So Long Saloon many years ago, and it's it has great potential to be ha-ha funny or really bad, which is true of most TV shows. So other than that, I don't know. I've got some novel ideas. I mean, I think the whole idea of having a journalist in this current environment would be interesting because nobody trusts journalists, and someone trying to actually dig through big stories as an online journalist. I don't know. That's kind of lame. But most of mine would be like fiction type things, not reality TV. I'm not a reality TV person outside of American Idol. So, I don't know.
Just so lame. So lame.
American Idol?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Being like, the only reality TV I watch is American Idol.
I love singers.
Oh.
Well, actually, we do watch Songland, which is songwriters. So it's that kind of genre. I don't like the voice. I don't like how they do the voice. Man, there's a kid from Wichita. He's actually from Kathmandu originally. His family moved over. But he's from Wichita. He is freaking incredible. So he's kind of got this cool vibe about him. But, yeah, there was a girl from Wellington that made it to the top, I don't know, 40, and she got cut. But, yeah, they're the top 20 now, and now they're frozen because they were supposed to move to live shows, and they can't. So there's a lot of talent.
You can zoom it.
And a lot of time, yeah, but, a lot of American Idol is inexperienced people just getting dramatically better once they get to coaching and, working with people. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
I like American Idol. Screw you, Zach.
If you're in the market for investment-worthy bags, watches, and fine jewelry, Rebag is the answer. Rebag is a luxury resale marketplace where each piece is carefully vetted and verified by experts to ensure quality and authenticity. If you're in the market, use Rebag to buy and sell finds from the world's top brands, including Hermes, Chanel, and Cartier. Head to Rebag.com to get 10% off your first purchase with code REBAG10. Shop today at Rebag.com. That's REBAG.com. And use promo code REBAG10 for 10% off your first purchase.
From King Jim 77, of the 4 former Big 12 schools, Nebraska, Colorado, Mizzou, and Texas A&M, where do you miss traveling the most? I guess, Ryan, did you ever make any road trips as a kid going to K-State games?
I've been to Columbia and I've been to Lincoln. So out of those two, I think overall it'd be, the game day experience in Lincoln is a little bit better than at Mizzou, but I overall miss Mizzou having them in the Big 12. That makes sense.
Yeah.
You probably know more than me if I had to make a guess.
Zach, what are your thoughts on this before I go?
Well, the only one I've gone to is Colorado, but also that is the one go-to school that I always say I want back just because it's it's the most different school out of all of them. I mean, West Virginia is kind of the mountain school now, but I enjoyed going to Colorado, but that's the only school of those 4 that I've been to for a game. I've been to Lincoln, I've been to Columbia, never been to College Station, but never for a football or basketball game.
All 4 of them have their reasons I'd want them back. I had Gabe DeArmond on my podcast, the Missouri guy, and with Rivals, interestingly enough. But Gabe and I are good buddies. I miss Missouri every Big 12 basketball tournament. I mean, it just doesn't seem right without Missouri, KU, K-State, and Iowa State fans all mingling. And having Missouri left out of that kind of sucks. But he's right. They play their tournament in Nashville, and that's not a bad place to go. So it's not like Missouri fans are like, oh, darn it, we got to go to Nashville now. If the question is, where do I miss going to for personal reasons, it's Colorado. Going to Boulder, getting that free trip in there to go. I've got good friends in Denver, so like basketball season, when we were covering all the games, I'd always take the Colorado trip and stay downtown Denver and hang out with friends, and then go up to Boulder for the game. But I miss going to Nebraska. Nebraska is such an easy trip. It's 2.5 hours, whatever it is, up, down, basketball, football. You're in and out. It's so easy. And A&M fans are just, after you're around them a while, it gets a little creepy, but they are really incredibly nice and welcoming. But that's true of any cult. They'll always welcome you at a cult.
What'd you say?
But I do kind of miss that. If you ask me who I want back Nebraska. Period. End of story. The most likely to come back, I think, would be Colorado, but I don't think we want them back simply because their athletics isn't important in Boulder. It's all about other things now. But I don't think Missouri's going anywhere, and A&M's not going anywhere. They're not leaving the SEC, so I don't know. But I miss them all for their own reasons. But I'm pretty content with what we have, and I would like to add in the Arizona schools, and I'd take the LA schools if they wanted to come too.
So do you guys like Colorado just because of the state of Colorado? It's really cool, or the actual campus?
Well, both. I mean,
the campus is cool too.
Yeah, I mean, both. Boulder's a cool town. I mean, I wouldn't want to live there. It's too whacked out for me, but it's just beautiful. I mean, it really is. Colorado is just a beautiful, beautiful state, and I would live there in a heartbeat if that opportunity arose. But I'm not going anywhere. I've got a life here in Manhattan, damn Kansas.
Hell yeah!
I don't miss Mizzou fans, that's for sure.
No, they were bad.
They were the worst.
Colorado fans are sneaky bad.
Yeah. I don't like, now we work with a lot of people that went to Mizzou, some colleagues, and they're just, I hate how uppity people are about Mizzou. It's not that great of a school.
They do a good job with journalism. I've noticed this on the video side. My experiences initially were the print side, where they really weren't that good. I thought they were, but they weren't. I think on the video side, they do a good job. Oklahoma State does too. I mean, if I've had a friend ask me, his son wanted to go into, being on broadcast TV, and I'm like, don't go to Kansas State. I'm sorry to say that. You'll get opportunities at Kansas State, and we have produced really good people, and we'll continue to do so because the right people will flourish in whatever circumstance. But Missouri is really equipped, and so is Oklahoma State, to teach you broadcast journalism.
Boo! You suck!
Especially sports for Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
Because their radio guy is one of the top professors, I think, in that school.
Yep, I agree.
Blah, 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 blah. From WTDD 2001. Did I say 3 Ds?
I don't know.
I think I did.
We don't have
Triple D. Wow.
Yeah. WTDDD.
WTDD 2001.
So there's
what is your favorite college? It's Win the Dang Day is what that stands for.
Not like
2001.
Double Ds.
What's
not double
36?
Ds? No.
Okay. There we go.
No.
Okay.
What is your favorite college town other than Manhattan to visit, and who has the most welcoming fan base?
Oh, I got into this a little bit. I love going to Austin, but is that a college town? I mean, I saw this debate on there.
Well,
what a college town
that's another question, isn't it?
Hang on.
Bring it in, though.
Okay, so this question's from Chris66204. His contention is that all college towns fall into one of 2 buckets. Either the town is small enough that the town revolves around the college, or it's in such an urban metropolis that it gets wiped out in the noise. And he says, think Houston, Rutgers, or Miami. I kind of disagree with Rutgers, but
yeah, Rutgers. I don't think he understands what Rutgers is. It's really
Rutgers is
Piscataway's really kind of, it's weird. Yeah.
Just because you're near New York City doesn't make you New York City.
Yeah, I'd put Austin in that bucket before Rutgers.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And that beyond that division, there's not a ton of difference between my college town and your college town. So agree or disagree. But on the Austin case, I think if you said 20 years ago, you could say, yes, Austin is a college town. That is where UT is. Today, no.
It's a big city.
Austin is Austin now.
I agree. I love going there, but it is overgrown its purpose as a university town. And it's the capital, too, so it's got a couple things going on. But now it's just become a big city, which kind of erases some of the charm that Austin had. It's still a weird place. I don't know, man. I'm not into Ames that much. I'm certainly not into Lawrence that much. I was never into Columbia. I think I enjoyed Boulder mostly for the scenery. The people really aren't very nice, which is an odd thing about Boulder and Colorado. They're very angry. So I guess I'll answer it this way. I would love to be in a position where I got to visit other places. And again, going back to my Gabe DeArmond discussion, he said it's been fun to be able to go to other college towns and not just do the same circuit over and over like we do. So it's, like years ago when we got to go to Auburn, and that was a cool environment. It was really fun. It was like a big K-State. Their tailgating was different because their football stadium's on campus, so people were tailgating all over campus. It was wild. It would just imagine walking across campus from one side to get to Memorial Stadium, and the lawn in front of Anderson Hall are tents. People are, set up, and in between other places, like in between McCain and Kedzie, there's a tent set up. People are tailgating. It was just a cool environment. I don't get to go enough various campuses. And honestly, when we do, we're working. We don't get a lot of time to go exploring, which is kind of an unfortunate part of our job. We kind of get there, do our jobs, and we work a ton after the game and go home.
I think probably building on Auburn, I think Starkville this year probably would have a similar experience. They all seem pretty nice. Didn't really, obviously we were working and we just kind of walked through, at 9 a.m. to get to the press box and then left long after everyone was gone. So we didn't really see much or have any interaction with fans, but they seem pretty nice. For me though, it's probably Stillwater, considering I lived there for a year. It's most comparable to Manhattan. True. Very similar. I'd say that as far as Big 12 schools go, I'd say that Oklahoma State probably has the most welcoming fan base to K-Staters.
I would agree. That's
my opinion.
Yeah.
I think that both schools recognize each other as being the same of their state or of the opposite state. Like there's enough common ground there. I wouldn't say that K-State and Oklahoma State would ever be rivals, more as just kind of a friendly rivalry other than, hey, we're the land-grant school of neighboring states.
With an overbearing neighbor in that state. KU basketball, Oklahoma football. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
Hey, another campus I've been to just through life travels is Colorado State at Fort Collins. And, I've always joked I would accept them. If there was a way to get them into the Big 12, I would take them because it'd be a really, really good place to visit. But that doesn't move the needle in terms of what you need from expansion. I'm just thinking of things that I would enjoy if I could just put together a conference of places I'd like to go to. But
yeah, Tulane and UNLV would be in there too. So
of course they would, because when I think of UNLV, I think of College Town, Vegas, and New Orleans. Certainly College Town. Well, of course that just means alcohol to me. But anyhow, that's a whole different story.
Which Miami school would you choose for your dream conference? Are you a Miami guy? Do you like visiting Miami?
What's my other choices?
Well, you got FAU, FIU.
Well, those aren't
Miami. They count.
Miami, Ohio.
It's so weird they have an Ohio campus of the University of Miami. I'd pick the U. I mean, we need a little of the U in our society. We just got to have that. I've been there. I mean, K-State played down in Miami. It wasn't on campus. They play at the Dolphin Stadium. But the U is just kind of cool, man. It's the U. It's the U. I love Miami. I spent a lot of time in my life in Florida, so I just love the culture and everything. So I'm weird.
Do you have a favorite college town, Ryan?
I was going to say Stillwater. I've been there 3 years in a row now. Very, very similar to Manhattan, small town vibe. I've had a few bad experiences with some of those fans, and I know when you get drunk college students, you're gonna have some issues. But the tailgating scene is very similar. I was talking about this when I was deciding my college to go to. There was no question I was going to go to K-State. And then I was going to Oklahoma State, and I was like, wow, this is really cool. And, most definitely I'm happy with Kansas State. But, the game day experience, they have all the players. I don't know if you've seen that. Players and coaches kind of go. Yeah, it's like a parade. I don't know how to explain that, but
they do a walk. I don't know what they call it, the cowboy walk or something. But there's a hotel on campus that's actually run by the students of the hotel and hospitality.
Oh, really?
School. Really nice hotel, and there's a restaurant in there too. That's really nice. But yeah, they stay there on campus at that hotel, and then they walk to the stadium. Pretty short walk.
That's awesome. Yeah, I still don't know what a poke is, but whatever. Can you answer that, Fitz?
Cowpoke. Cowpoke.
A cowpoke. Okay, I'm 21. I'm a noob.
Yeah, go Pokes. Yeah, I'm not sure the origin of it because you poke the cattle. I don't know. I'm not sure what the origin of that is. I'd have to look that one up.
Cowpoke dates to about 1881 and originally referred to the cowboys who prodded cattle onto railroad cars with long poles.
Every time I go down there for a football game, and I always film on the K-State sideline for road games, or I try my best to.
Oh, Homer.
But that's where the students are at Oklahoma State. And I've always wanted to just take some cash with me down there and just say, hey, after the game, I'll pay you this much for one of those paddles and see if they'll take it. Because I've always wanted to have one of those paddles to just keep in my room somewhere. Be a cool piece of memorabilia.
Yeah, I know you're into paddling.
Oh, man, probably going to get some letters about that, huh?
That's a secret between us, Fitz.
Damn it. Nobody listens to this podcast. It's
Your fever is high and the pressure to log in at work is too. But when you finally decide to take care of you, there's Instacart. Just because that one perfect coworker of yours is attending all meetings, camera on while she's sneezing, coughing, and aching, doesn't mean you have to do the same. Take it from us. Trying to stay on top of things will only get you further behind. Instead, get everything from tissues and teas to cough suppressants and comforting soups delivered through Instacart in as fast as 30 minutes. If anyone needs anything, they can just redirect their questions to that one perfect coworker of yours.
From Chris66204, you can choose one shape and you only get to eat foods in that shape for a year. What shape do you choose? And he gives the example as a circle, but he includes pizza on there and ding dongs, cake, cinnamon rolls, etc. But pizza, is it a circle, or if you cut it up, is that a triangle? What is that?
Wow, that's so deep.
You know, like there's some weird. Is it the initial shape? I think initial shape is probably fair, so I think that pizza would work there if you chose circle, but
you could make a square pizza. I mean, tradition makes a pizza round. You could make it square.
You're a monster.
I guess Little Caesar's deep dish.
Boom.
Yeah.
Detroit. Gotta live in Detroit, but
I don't think of foods as shapes. I think foods are so much more than the shape in which they come. I think it's unfair and hateful of us to just judge a food by its initial shape. For example, a tot. It's a little pylon of potato, and it's delicious. But I don't want to just eat that shape because that limits me. This is a deep question. I think my shape would be blender. Blender-shaped foods. I'll put the pizza in there. I'll put lasagna in there. I'll put spaghetti in there. Zach, you going to have the spaghetti out of a blender? I'll do anything out of a blender.
I don't know what shape I'd choose. It's all mush when it's in your stomach.
Yeah.
You know, you don't need a blender for that.
Yeah.
It comes out the same shape if you're healthy.
I feel like the only options we have is circular and rectangular. You know, other than that, what else is there?
I think that's it.
I mean, pizza's a triangle.
You can cut everything into a circle, you know? Burgers are circles.
Yeah.
Unless you go to Wendy's. Wendy's is tricky. Square patty, but round bun.
I didn't think this question would be this deep. This is really philosophical.
Chicken tenders are out, you know? Like,
yeah.
Those are very uniquely shaped, and some of them might not even be the same shape. So are some chicken tenders allowed and some not? Like
dinosaur shaped.
Buffalo wings would be out here because that'd literally be the only thing you could eat, you know?
Yeah. So I hope that dog bark was on the podcast.
From Wizard6294, what are you going to do with your stimulus check? And if you aren't getting one, act like you would be.
God, this is such a different answer for a 55-year-old homeowner as opposed to a 21-year-old kid or Zach, how old are you?
27.
27-year-old guy that doesn't own his own home. We will use the money to do something to our house. For example, we have 3 dogs. So that means our dog area, we've got a very large yard. We've got like a half acre. So we've got a very large area committed to dogs that has virtually no grass left. So when it rains, it gets muddy. So we need to change that whole area into rock and mulch. I think that's what we will do with our stimulus money because that will then save the flooring in the house from being muddy. That's how exciting my life is. Hold on. The dogs are going at it. Hi, guys. You good?
Some loud growls.
Yeah.
They're getting into it.
Oh, they go at it. They wrestle. They hit each other. They box. It's really funny. And they bite each other. So but they're having fun.
For me, fortunately, I'm able to stimulate my savings account with it and use it later.
Yeah,
I don't need it right now. I don't have anything.
Zach, you're good about that kind of stuff. My God.
Like,
okay. This is the worst podcasting ever. Yeah, Zach, you're just excited to get money so you can do nothing with it. You're wired completely differently than most of us.
Like, I'll spend money on fast food, and then I'll save money, and then, like, I just bought a car, so I used a lot of the money that I saved there for that down payment. And so now I'm just kind of rebuilding my savings back up to make another big purchase at some point for something. Who knows what it is, but
what car did you buy?
Maybe take a vacation, take a trip. I don't know, but
what car did you buy, Zach?
A 2018 Nissan Altima.
Hello.
It's silver. It is nice. Got a decent deal on it.
Zach.
If anybody listening notices my my audio quality is better, thankful for my new Mac. So that money is going to the Mac fund.
That's nice. I'd save up my check and for charity, which would probably be something for me.
Spin at the fridge?
Yes. I think I'd spend it at the fridge if they had a young lady working there named Charity. I'd save it up and give Charity the money to give me liquor.
I think that's the wrong place, wrong kind of store there.
I started to go in that direction, and then I thought, this is a family podcast in some ways. So anyhow.
It's okay. Sure. Ask your dad.
Ask your
children.
Dad. Yeah. Uncle Fitzy wants to give all his money to a girl named Charity. Where's she work? Okay. Moving on.
I am kind of curious, though. Like, who is the youngest person listening to this podcast? Like, I kind of want to know. Like, if you're using your dad's account on Wabash like I did as a young child, let us know.
Yeah.
But only with your parents' permission.
Exactly.
Because I think that there's some sort of legal requirement there about kids using the internet that we probably need to have a disclaimer for.
I don't want to know that an 8-year-old's listening to me talk about these topics. I feel like we should have a disclaimer on this podcast. Not that it's got, some kind of language or adult content. It's just should be like this podcast includes poor taste. All understand that this podcast includes poor taste because it's me talking a lot.
Walmart brand
Dad,
barbecue.
what does poor taste mean?
Your mother's cooking.
Moving on. Yeah. To Chris66204. What is your favorite Tom Hanks movie from his legendary 1992 to 2002 run? And he gives us a list here so we can choose.
It's a long list.
A League of Their Own. Yeah. There's a long list. A League of Their Own. Sleepless in Seattle. Philadelphia. Forrest Gump. Apollo 13. Toy Story. That Thing You Do, which I guess was not a movie he starred in, but he wrote it and directed it.
It was really good.
Saving Private Ryan. You've Got Mail. Toy Story 2, Green Mile, Castaway, Road to Perdition?
Perdition, yeah. It's a good
Perdition?
movie. Yeah, it's a good movie.
And then Catch Me If You Can. And before anybody answers, fun fact about Apollo 13, yesterday was the anniversary, the 50th anniversary of that, and someone on Reddit said, if you start the movie at like 8:17 Eastern Time or Central, I don't know what time it was, if you start it then, he will say, Houston, we have a problem at the exact same time that it was said 50 years ago.
That's crazy.
Someone did the math on it. Kind of funny.
That's crazy. Yeah, Saving Private Ryan for me, it's one of my favorite movies. One of the greatest movies not to win an Oscar. But, I like that. Who doesn't like Forrest Gump? Fantastic movie. A lot of those movies are really good. I mean, there's some... even some of I enjoyed Road to Perdition. It's kind of a gang type movie. What I'm trying to say, mafia, hitman, randomized genre, murder. It's what it's about. It's what I'm about lately. But yeah, what an incredible actor. Toy Story. I don't
think that. Yeah, it's a voice acting. As much as I love Toy Story, I wouldn't call that a good acting
I wouldn't call that
role.
a Tom Hanks movie, yeah.
I got to take another answer then, huh?
Yeah, well, I mean, if you want to pick that, that's all right.
See, I don't.
I mean,
I
it's
don't know.
fine. I would pick it. I would pick it if Apollo 13 and Castaway and Green Mile weren't on there, but they are. So
Those are great movies.
You know, I'd probably go with Apollo 13 as my pick.
So your Toy Story, Gills?
You guys are going to hate me. Probably going to lose my job for this, but I'm not a fan of Forrest Gump.
Oh, that's all right. I understand why.
I don't think I've actually watched it all the way through.
It.
I mean, I think it appeals to an older demographic. I think it hits on themes that, from my lifetime, talking to Kennedy, and so it's kind of easier to relate. I caught on to I was real young, but I remember Vietnam War stuff, and so it kind of connects better into my life.
Yeah, but Toy Story would be my answer.
That's fair. Last question of the podcast from Wizard6294. What new facilities project are you most looking forward to? And what new facilities project do you see as the current biggest need?
Well, that bar they're building, that's going to be in between Bramlage and the football field, blow out the Legends Room, and that thing's going to be incredible. Incredible. It looks like the baddest sports bar I've seen outside of Vegas. So that's really impressive. I like what they're doing with that. I think the one I'm looking forward to the most is the one that is the most impractical. They're planning to dig out the west side of Bramlage Coliseum, make a ground level entrance, have a way into Bramlage where you don't have to go up a ramp, and they'll also have tunnels coming out that side of Bramlage so people can enter mid-level. I mean, it's just overdue to have that. That'll change Bramlage a lot. Whatever they can do to make Bramlage look less like a crappy sided building, with just bad metal siding, would be great for me. I'm into the volleyball facility. I'm a volleyball guy. I think that'd be a cool little arena, and it might be cool for multi-use, not just volleyball. Maybe they can have small concerts in there or something. That might be a cool facility to use for multi-purpose. So I don't know. I just think it's cool how K-State's going to have everything right there. The indoor track facility and the old indoor facility will be neat. They got to figure out how they're going to build the new indoor football facility. There's some real pushback on the location of that, so we'll see how that takes place.
I don't know if you guys have ever been to a volleyball game in there. It is so hot in there. So I agree with you, Fitz. That's what I'm most excited for. I mean, I'm all excited for the football, that remodeling, the bar thing, but that's not really a need. We saw the North End Zone 5 or 10 years ago. Was that a need? Sure, but I don't think this is really needed. It's just something that, going back to what we talked about on the Questions podcast, that money that's just like, oh, we have so much money, we don't know what to do with it. Let's just go ahead, boom. I know it's donation money. That's what they've got to do with it, but we've just got to do something else with the stadium. Let's go ahead and do the South End Zone. So
yeah, a lot of it is just trying to keep up with the Joneses in football, which you have to do because it's a business. Yeah. But just from a cool need thing, I'm fired up about fixing some of the problems with Bramlage and having a nice little volleyball arena that will better house that sport than that giant Ahern arena. And I'm intrigued to see what the university is going to do with Ahern Fieldhouse. It is fallen in disrepair, and do you even bother repairing it? What do you do with that classic structure? It'd break my heart to tear it down, but they pretty much would need to gut it and start all over, and maybe use the shell of it for a new building. I don't know, guys. I mean, there's no parking there, so could you somehow turn it into dorms? I'm just intrigued to see what they'll do with Ahern. I don't know what can be done with it other than leave an empty barn or tear it down to one historic wall that will stand forever on campus.
I'm looking most forward to that, what you said, Fitz, that addition on the south side of the football stadium, because over the years, the last really 20, 22 years or so of K-State football, you go from having the old east side, you tear that down, you build a nice east side there. Then later, you tear down the old press box, build a new press box there on the west side. You get the north end zone taken care of. And then kind of in between all of that, you added that giant at the time, Jumbotron on the south end that kind of nicened that side up, gave, another look there. And then there was also the basketball training facility that you could see, and that looked really nice. It was kind of a cool little cornerstone that you could kind of peek at there. But after all of the 3 additions, the south side was really neglected, especially with the way that Bramlage looks. Bramlage needs a paint job badly.
It's horrible.
And them, finally adding, some suites, some seats up there, it'll finally kind of complete the bowl, so to speak, and it'll look really, really good as a whole facility.
It's kind of Operation Hide Bramlage Coliseum. It started with basketball training. Now we're going to do the south end zone, so Bramlage really won't be visible from the football field, and then they're going to cover up the west side, and they'll probably have to redress the east side a little bit, and I don't know, the back side of it, I'm not sure, but they're just trying to keep Bramlage but make it more functional and look better, less of an eyesore. I don't know.
So after the south side, after the south end zone is done, what else is there to do for the football stadium?
Not a lot.
But the east side exterior is probably the biggest need, but they're going to cover that up and take a cop out by building the training facility or the practice facility, which will be nice. It'll look really good, but it's going to be different.
I'm with you. I think that's a cop out, but that's me. They need to fix that. But yeah, you're right. Once they build the new indoor and outdoor practice fields and fix that south end zone, they're really getting close to everything they need. That east side needs a facade that matches the west side. Even if it's just buildings for restrooms and shops and stuff. We'll see where it all leads. I'm excited. And how does this current environment of the coronavirus impact people that are giving money? The stock market diving hurts a lot of investments and hurts a lot of ledgers that maybe people will be less likely or able to give. There's a lot of things in play right now. A lot of unknowns in our world, including the sports world right now. That's it for the overtime session of this week at GoPowerCat.com. The podcast continue. We will continue to talk to you. We're not going to ignore you. You're our people. Why would we ignore you? We'll talk to you. We'll always talk to you. And we'll talk to you next week.
You've been listening to the PowerCat Overtime Podcast, presented by Fridge Wholesale Liquor. PowerCat Podcast. All rights reserved. GoPowerCat.com and Spirit Street Publishing.
With Blue Link Plus, you can access your Hyundai Tucson Limited remotely. Doors unlocked, temperature set, lost car found.
There it is.
Get complimentary class-leading Blue Link Plus. Call 562-314-4603 for complete details.